Targaryens and Blackfyres are completely different, as you can see from their completely unique sigils that are in no way related in color scheme, shape, anything, you know? I'm not like the other girls, I swear, okay? And while Targaryens and Blackfyres are obviously their own unique things, what is a Dragonseed and how does that fit into all this mix? Well, allow me to explain, because these are three distinct things that are, all tangentially related to the Targaryens, but technically, unique. So unique. Now, broken down in the simplest way, the easiest way to think about it are Targaryens are the OG, they are the legitimate house. Blackfyres are the cadet branch, they are an offshoot of House Targaryen. And then Dragonseeds are just the special in-universe word for Targaryen bastards. And I'm not just talking about the asshole variety, I mean like legitimate bastards. Like the parents aren't married, one of them is a Targaryen. Now, if you're in the know, you might start saying, but like, wait a second though, because the Blackfyres are all descended from Daemon Blackfyre, who was a bastard. So aren't Blackfyres and Dragonseeds like basically the same thing? And again, no, technically no, it's no. Because the distinction between the two of them lies in the concept of legitimacy. Legitimacy in the sense that, like, not just like, ooh, you're legit. Like, no, like, I legally have the standing to inherit shit because I am a legitimate member of my family. Which is fucked up, but, medieval bullshit. What are you gonna do? And so it's important to remember that bastards, and in this case Dragonseeds, do not have the right to inherit because they are not born of a legitimate marriage, because they are born out of wedlock, in a moment of passion that isn't recognized by the society. They don't get the rights that come with being born of the legitimate union of their parent. And so it doesn't matter if your parent was a Targaryen or not, if you aren't born under this very specific set of circumstances, you do not have the rights to any of the shit when your parent dies. And thus was originally the case for Daemon Waters. Daemon Blackfyre over here, originally, when he was born, his name was Daemon Waters because he was just a bastard. Now, he was a special bastard, I'll give him that. He was the bastard child of Daena Targaryen, who was basically one of Rhaenyra's grandkids. Now, Daena is cool in her own right. She led a difficult life. She got locked up in an area of the Red Keep called the Maiden Vault by her brother Baelor the Blessed. He was the crazy religious one who was married to her for a bit and then got the marriage annulled because he didn't like the temptations of the flesh. But then he was like, hey, my sisters are like pretty and nice. I think that they're going to inspire lust in people's eyes. Let's lock them up. Baelor, you suck. But Daena, in one of her many little acts of vengeance, got herself knocked up. This was intentional. This was really, hoping to kind of piss off her brother who was keeping her locked up in a fucking maiden vault, okay? And so she got knocked up. At this point, she's now unmarried because her marriage to her brother has been annulled, and she's supposed to be, pious in a vault somewhere. It's not an actual vault. It's just what they called it. But she gets pregnant, and there's a mystery as to who the father is initially, because she isn't saying anything, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But eventually she has a child. She names the child Daemon after her grandfather, which is just like a great, fuck you, to the Targaryens and the court and everything. And so, Daemon Waters is now a thing. Now, as the years pass, you eventually learn that Daemon Waters is actually the bastard child of Daena and Aegon IV. Aegon IV was Daena's cousin by just another uncle. So if you know Fire and Blood, watch House of the Dragon. Daena is the child of Aegon, who would be Aegon III, and then Aegon IV was the child of Viserys II, who are two of Rhaenyra's kids. So the cousins. But anyway, Aegon IV is now the king, and he decides that he really likes Daemon Waters because, he's cool, he acts like a Targaryen, even though he's not legitimate, he doesn't have any rights to, succession, or, inheritance. But Aegon IV is a messy bitch, so he says, hey, you know what, here's Blackfyre, the sword of House Targaryen, I'm giving it to you because I think you're swell. Meanwhile, his actual son, Daeron II, is like, hey, can I? No? Okay, cool. And so Damon Waters, again, still a bastard, still no rights to inheritance, takes Blackfyre, and, because he likes it, because this is a special moment, he takes the name Blackfyre as his last name. Now, because at this point he is a claimed bastard, he's an acknowledged bastard by his father, and his father's an important person. It gives you a slightly higher status. Like, you're still like illegitimate. You're not gonna like get anything, but hey, you're like more important by virtue of the fact that you're related to someone important. So with that, you have the right to a last name because you are the bastard child of important people. In this case, of Daena Targaryen and Aegon IV. You can do what you want. So he takes the name Blackfyre. He takes the name Blackfyre to like honor, this portion of his family, and all cool. But even at that point, Daemon Blackfyre is still a bastard. Still no rights to nothing. Until messy Aegon IV on his deathbed goes, hey, I am going to legitimize all my bastards. Now, the thing about that is, because, we've been talking about legitimacy, we've been talking about inheritance, is if you legitimize a bastard, that puts them in the line of succession, in the line of inheritance. And so this guy over here, Daemon Blackfyre, gets raised up to a very high degree. Now, this eventually causes issues, and the Targaryens and the Blackfyres start fighting because the Blackfyres, reproduce. Daemon Blackfyre has a bunch of kids, and they start saying like, hey, we're in the line of succession, and we think that, we have a better claim to the throne at this point. But again, that's only possible because Aegon IV legitimizes him. And that's very important to remember. The only way for a bastard to become legitimized, to become able to inherit, is for a king to do it. Like in the main series, Ramsay Snow only becomes Ramsay Bolton because the crown, rubber stamps it. And even then, the legitimization of a bastard is a rare thing because it's only really done in like desperate scenarios, usually. Roose Bolton has no children. He has no heirs at this point. His one child, Domeric, has died at this point, under mysterious circumstances, but he's gone. So there is a danger, if Roose Bolton kicks the bucket, that's House Bolton right there. So legitimizing Ramsay is a smart thing to do in the meantime until, Roose can create some more heirs. And so while a Dragonseed is a bastard and a bastard doesn't have rights to inheritance, the Blackfyres, get raised up. They are made different. They are legitimized by a king, which causes problems down the road because they aren't wrong. They do have a claim here. You can argue like who has the better claim, but like he has a claim now and there is no fighting it because Aegon IV, did that. And so that's why House Blackfyre is considered a cadet branch. They are an offshoot of a major family. So they come from the Targaryens, but they are now their own thing. It's similar to in the north, you have the Starks, and then you have the Karstarks. So the Karstarks are a cadet branch of House Stark. They, were originally, I think, founded on like a second son or something, who got raised up, got his own, keep and whatever, established his own dynasty with the name Karstark, and both families, have continue to have offspring through the generations, and they're distantly related. Now, the Blackfyres are obviously a lot closer in relation to the Targaryens, just because not a lot of time has gone by, but yeah, that's what a cadet branch is. Now, the last thing I'll say on the distinction between these three groups is that they actually might play an important role within the context of the story. In the story, as part of a few prophecies, you have the idea of the dragon having three heads. Now, we don't know exactly what that means, but one of the proposed theories is that, the three heads represent three individuals, possibly three individuals who will ride dragons or who will just like play an outsized role in fighting the Long Night. And as for the theory that it's three individuals, one of the interesting theories on who those individuals could be has to do with the idea of these, I guess, three different types of Targaryens. Namely Targaryens, Blackfyres, and Dragonseeds, like the three types, if you will. So if you need those three types for the dragon to have three heads, we have one of each of those possibly represented here. You have Daenerys as the true Targaryen, you have young Griff as probably a Blackfyre, and then you have Jon here as a Dragonseed. Because remember, Jon is not legitimate. That's a show thing, okay? And so if the last member of each of these groups comes together to be the three heads of the dragon to fight the Long Night, I just think that's interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to bed. Okay, goodbye.